Hi, I'm one of the narrators. This is my story. Long ago, within the endless expanse of the Norwin forest, there was a path that led to a small village known as Hollow's End. The village no longer by time and tragedy, but the path remains, swallowed by roots, shadows, and silence. Locals say the trees whisper when the moon is full, guiding the curious toward a place where the dead do not rest. No one ventures there anymore. Not after what happened in the fall of 1993. It began on a chilly October evening when 5 university students, Devin, Claire, Jonah, and Tyler, set out on a weekend camping trip. They had read a blog post about Norwin Forest being one of the largest unspoiled forests in the region, brimming with wildlife, secluded trails, and mystery. "Let's make it a ghost hunt," Jonah joked, brushing his long hair out of his eyes as they loaded backpacks into Maya's old SUV. "You say that until we find something," Claire replied, adjusting her DSLR camera around her neck. "Or something finds us," group laughed, brushing off the eerie comment, unaware that the shadows they would soon enter were already watching. They arrived by dusk, the forest casting long fingers of darkness over the trailhead. Carved wooden sign half swallowed by ivy reed, "Norwin National Preserve, Kunderit," scrawled in red spray paint, was a warning. "Do not enter the hollow." Maya frowned. The blog didn't mention anything about a hollow, probably just graffiti, Tyler said, lighting a cigarette. People trying to scare hikers. But it wasn't just graffiti, and they were more than just hikers. The group hiked 4 hours before setting up camp near a clearing, not far from a creek. Night fell swiftly, bringing with it an unnatural silence. The usual forest sounds, chirping crickets, rustling leaves, distant owls, were absent. They built a fire, shared stories, and passed around a bottle of cheap whiskey. Jonah, ever a prankster, pulled out an old Ouija board. "Let's see if there really are spirits in this forest." Maya shook her head. "This is dumb." "You're scared?" Jonah teased. "I'm not scared. I'm cautious. There's a difference." Despite her reluctance, everyone eventually gathered around the board. Their fingers rested lightly on the planchette. "Is anyone here with us?" Jonah asked. At first, nothing happened. Then the planchette began to move slowly, deliberately. "Why?" S. Everyone stared at each other. "Who are you?" Claire whispered. The board responded. 4GOTTN. They tried to end the session, but the board spelled out one final message before they could. Why a cold wind extinguished the fire. Darkness rushed in like a wave. From the edge of the trees came a sound, soft at first, like whispers, then a low, guttural moan. "Let's go back to the car," Tyler said, grabbing his flashlight. But the forest had changed. The path was gone. Chapter 3. The hollow. The next morning, nothing felt right. The air was thick and unmoving. The trees looked different, older, as if they had grown 100 years overnight. Moss, dripped like wet curtains, and the light was a sickly gray. Claire checked her GPS. We're off course. It says we're miles from the trail. That's impossible, Devin said. We didn't walk that far. They tried to retrace their steps but found only winding, unfamiliar trails. Eventually, they stumbled upon a clearing surrounded by dead trees. Center stood the ruins of a stone foundation. What remained of a cabin? Scattered around were toys, rusted tools, and remnants of lives once lived. And in the middle, buried in the soil, was a wooden sign, half-rooted. Welcome to Hollow's End. What the hell is this place? Diona picked up a cracked porcelain doll. Its eyes were missing. A whisper swept through the clearing. Claire raised her camera to capture the scene, then screamed. The lens fogged over and cracked, despite the air being dry. They heard it then, the sound of children laughing, followed by sobbing. One by one, the group began to unravel. That night, Tyler wandered off into the woods and didn't return. Cogley. They found him the next morning dangling from a tree by a noose made of vines, his eyes wide open and mouth frozen in a scream. There were no tracks beneath him, no sign of struggle, only a word carved into his chest. Stay. Maya fell into silence. Claire cried for hours. Jonah blamed himself for bringing the board. Devin tried to take control, suggesting they follow the creek downstream. But the creek now flowed in the wrong direction. The water ran black. That evening, Claire began talking to someone who wasn't there. Insisted it was a little girl named Elsie, who needed help finding her mother. Mama says, we have to stay, Claire whispered, staring into the trees. She's lonely. By nightfall, Claire vanished. Only Maya, Devin, and Jonah remained. They returned to the village ruins, hoping to find clues. In the ashes of the ruined cabin, they discovered a trapdoor beneath the fireplace. Carved around the door in Latin were the words, Sacrificium sacrifice for silence, Maya translated. Jonah pried it open. The tunnel beneath smelled of rot and regret. They descended with flashlights, finding rows of small coffins stacked against dirt walls. Symbols were carved into the wood. Many were broken open. A journal lay on a stone altar. Maya flipped through it. It belonged to the village pastor, dated 1883. The children cry louder each night. The forest won't let them leave. We made a pact. We thought we could contain it with sacrifice. But it only grew hungry. We are all damned. Tunnel. Suddenly, the tunnel was filled with whispering voices. Cold hands reached from the dirt. Donna screamed as something pulled him into the darkness. Maya and Devin ran. Tevin didn't make it far, snatched by shadowy figures beneath the trees. Maya, bleeding and broken, found her way back to the village ruins. She tore open the journal again, looking for anything that could save her. A final passage read, "To break the curse, the last must return what was stolen. Blood for blood. The forest keeps what was lost. She remembered the doll Jonah took, bigging through his pack. She found it now crumbling, wet with something dark. Trembling, "I'm sorry," she whispered. The forest fell silent. A figure appeared, a girl, no older than 6, her eyes hollow and black. She nodded, then turned and vanished into the trees. Babalog. Escape Maya awoke in a hospital bed. She had been found wandering the main road 2 days after disappearing, barefoot, bruised, and in shock. Her story made the local news, but officials claimed she had gotten lost and suffered a psychological break. No one believed her, except one nurse, who brought her a sketch drawn by a child in the pediatric wing. It showed 5 people entering a forest, and only 1 leaving. In the corner was a message written in red crayon. "Thank you for letting us go. Ton."